Hello 8th grade math teachers. This is Roger Vance, secondary math guy for Caddo Schools, and welcome to the video version of our recent collaborative meeting entitled Conceptual Understanding Related to Upcoming Curriculum Topics. The session was held on February 4th, 2016 in the Professional Development Center seminar room. We had 7 participants from 5 different schools, and it was a great time of discussion and sharing ideas that will benefit our students. After some introductions and a look at the agenda, we started off with a discussion of this year's state assessment. If you received this video by email, the state assessment guidance and part evidence statements were attached. If you found this video on our caddomath.org website, you probably noticed these documents and all others related to this video posted alongside the video file. These assessment documents are very important and are not overwhelmingly long, so I strongly encourage every Caddo 8th grade math teacher to take the time to at least skim through the documents and familiarize yourself with the information. This could lead you to change the way you teach some of the content to your students, especially leading up to our April testing date. The next document we looked at was the latest draft of the new Louisiana standards for 2016-17. These had just been released about a week prior to our meeting, and it was very interesting to see how similar they are to what we have been using for the past few years, at least since our state GLEs were replaced. There are minor differences in wording, but the classification system looks more like our old GLEs. So this will not be much of a shift in what we've been working with. Next, we moved on to what I thought was the more exciting part of the meeting. That started by looking at the revised version of the scope and sequence. And actually that's not the most exciting part, but it led us to the exciting part, the discussion that came after this. But looking at the scope and sequence, the order of things is the same, but the document was originally developed around 2 phases of testing. If you remember, last year we had 2 phases of testing, I think one in March and one in April. And coming into this school year, we thought it was going to be the same until sometime in November we found out from the State Department that there would only be 1 phase of testing, and it's going to be the week of April 25th. So we took out that week that was designated as phase 1 from March, and then we shifted content based on that. As you can see in this first page that we looked at in the scope and sequence, we didn't go back to the beginning of the school year. We just started with the current time frame. Now here, this is the next page of the scope and sequence. You can see week 28, which is March 14th through 18th. This is when phase 1 of testing was originally scheduled. So if you have your old scope and sequence document, then you'll see phase 1 in that column, in that row, excuse me. Now that we've had the change, that's a regular teaching week, and all content from this point forward was shifted. On the last page of the scope and sequence, you can see what was phase 2 of testing. That's week 33. That's April 25th through 29th. We don't call that phase 2 anymore. Now that's the only week scheduled for state testing. So most teachers are excited that it's later than usual and that we don't have that phase 1. And so just want to make sure you're aware of that situation. This gives us a bit more breathing room, which is really helpful since most teachers at the meeting that we had on February 4th admitted to being at least a couple weeks behind on the pacing guide. So based on that, here are the chapters that most teachers had left to cover on that February 4th date. Just like we did at the original meeting, now would be a good time for you to pause this video, get out a pencil and paper, take a look at these chapter titles, and jot down some common struggles within these chapters that you always seem to have with your students. All right, I hope you took the time to do that. If you would like CLU credit, I'm going to give you some information about that at the end of the video, and what this activity would be a part of that process of getting that CLU hour. Anyway, after some discussion among small groups of teachers, I think we only had 7 in this meeting, so I can't remember if we divided into 2 or 3 groups or how it worked out, but we spent most of the remainder of our time discussing some of those common struggles and sharing strategies that some teachers have found to be helpful. Most of the struggles in that discussion for 8th grade revolved around solving systems of linear equations. We talked about what it means to have a solution of any kind in algebra, kind of a conceptual level there. Most students don't seem to get that at all. Finding values of variables that make equations true, trying to define that as a solution. But as the conversation progressed, it became obvious that the problems students faced were related more to basic topics like solving single equations, much less a system of equations. Things like even combining like terms and order of operations. A lot of our students are coming to us with deficiencies, and there's a bigger issue here with the shift to Common Core a few years ago when we already had kids coming to us with struggles, and then a lot of the material got moved down to lower grades, and systems of equations being one of the main things for 8th grade math that we used to not teach in 8th grade. It used to be an Algebra 1 topic. And so if kids were already coming to us with struggles, and now those struggles are going to be even greater. And we've been experiencing that for 3 or 4 years now. So it's not a surprise to anyone, but it doesn't mean we also just want to let it go. We want to give it our best shot to give these kids the best chance. And it's going to take years for us to get caught up, but our job this year is to get caught up as best we can with the kids we have, and then hopefully next year make a little more progress and just keep progressing from there. Unfortunately, in our meeting on February 4th, time cut us short, but this was a great example of the kind of discussions that we need to be having as often as possible with teachers across the district. We learn so much from each other. And this is the part that I hope to document and even video at future meetings, so more detailed information can be shared with those of you who are unable to attend. I love face-to-face meetings. I'm not going to give up trying to get you to be able to show up for a face-to-face meeting. But the fact of the matter is we all have busy lives, and so as we plan future collaborative meetings, I'm going to try to provide these video follow-ups with more detail. Also, as we plan future collaborative meetings, we're going to try to make it so that some of you come prepared to demonstrate successful strategies in more detail. I hope over time to again, video and build a video library labeled by topic. This would be a great place to turn when we need some help preparing for an upcoming lesson. So the feedback from this session included things like good information and available resources. One teacher said that they enjoyed the roundtable discussions. Another teacher said they enjoyed sharing with their peers, kind of the same idea there. Sometimes just knowing that you're not alone in the battle to help your kids be successful is a great encouragement. And this was something that made me feel like the meeting was worthwhile. Other teachers suggested things like one teacher from each school needs to attend so they can share with everyone. Kind of already alluded to that a little bit. Another teacher said this needed to be longer so we can review test items and get more ideas from other teachers. I think that's a really good sign if you finish a professional development session and people ask for it to be longer next time. It doesn't happen very often. So I was excited to hear that. And the feedback was mostly positive. Teachers expressed an interest in making this a common occurrence, which I'm really excited about that as well. As we plan for future PD opportunities, I'll be working to apply that idea. I hope that all of our meetings in Caddo, particularly with regard to math, as far as I'm concerned, will be collaborative, where you don't just come to listen, but you come to share. We have a great group of 8th grade math teachers in our district, and I get excited to think about what can happen if we begin to work together on a consistent basis. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Please use the documents that are connected to this video, those state assessment documents, the revised scope and sequence for 8th grade math, and be sure to check out the latest draft of the new state standards whenever you begin to plan for next year. Also, please email me anytime you think of a suggestion, concern, need, or anything at all that might lead to benefit our Caddo kids. Oh, and one more thing. If you would like to receive a CLU credit for viewing this video, please go to caddomath.org/math-pd. You can see it there on your screen. And click on the evaluation link associated with this video file. Once you've completed your evaluation, you'll need to send me an email at rvance@caddoschools.org. Again, there on your screen. I just need the email to make sure that I don't slip and miss out that you have done this. So just send me an email with the subject line 8th grade evaluation. That's all it needs to say is 8th grade evaluation. I'll send you your CLU certificate as soon as I receive that email and I'm able to pull up your evaluation form. So again, thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. Take care.